We're live here. This is Rich Lieberman. And, one of the things that drives me nuts, and I've talked about this before, I haven't talked about it in terms of the importance of it and really gone on and on about it because we're in kind of this society in which you can't go on and on and on because people have a short attention span. And therefore, you have to be direct and straight to the point. KQED, and I'm talking about the television end here, but it's radio too, but more on the TV end. This is a company that has millions and millions and millions of dollars of vast amounts of resources and revenue through arts, through a whole bunch of fundraisers and grants from the government and on and on and on and on and on. Yet, get this, folks. This is a broadcast outlet, part of the PBS. They don't have a nightly newscast. So don't give me this stuff about Northern California news and their counterparts doing news out of Washington. I'm talking about a local Bay Area, San Francisco centric newscast. Remember the old days? I was a little kid. I was barely in my 5, 6 years old when they did Newsroom. And they haven't had a nightly newscast since. Yet, KQED, with all their fundraisers and donations and pledges, you guys give me crap because every now and then I ask for donations so I can survive and give you information and scoops and so forth. And I'm not going to get off on that yet. But yet, you let KQED fly. You let KQED fly. This is a outlet that has millions and millions of dollars that it gets subsidies and grants and all these millions of dollars, and yet nobody goes after them. God forbid the Chronicle, that supposed newspaper that we have in the Bay Area, would try to do, I don't know, a basic, hey, where's all the money going, KQED? But the Chronicle, since, has long ago given up actual investigative reporting. How about just basic reporting? Where's the money going? You don't have a nightly newscast? 15 minutes? No. 30 minutes? KQED, the PBS station in the Bay Area, no newscast. Where's the money going? Now, look, they're not obligated. It's not against the law for them not to have a nightly newscast. But you would think that an outlet that has as much money as they do, an outlet that pays all their managers, even their mid-managers, vast amounts of compensation, would at least have a nightly newscast. 15 minutes, like I said, something, 10 minutes, 5. Not a nothing, not an out and out amount of anything. No newscast. I find that unbelievable. Call me crazy. They don't have anything. They don't do anything. They have these quasi, every now and then, whatevers, functions at their outlet. But do you ever see KQED in the community? Do they do anything when it's the 4th of July, when there's fireworks down at the port? Do they televise the New Year's Eve fireworks? Do they do anything? Where are they? Where is KQED? Oh, they do Check Please and some other mundane program. That's it. I'm not even going there. I'm talking about just a basic nightly newscast that most, if not all, broadcast entities do. It has nothing to do with the fact that they get all this money, these millions of dollars. I haven't even talked about or broached their multiple asks for donations. Give us $50 and we'll give you a tape of Masterpiece Theater. Give us this, that, and the other. And we'll give you this. It's a gimmick. It's out there so that they can continue to generate millions and millions and millions of dollars for programming, most of which comes from NPR on the radio end or PBS, so that they can feed you. And some of it very good programming, but it's all national. Tell me something that KQED does locally. They are supposed to be a local station. Again, does the Chronicle send any reporter up to KQED and their multi-million dollar headquarters and facility and studios with the nice tapestries and the expensive couches and the food and the wine and all this stuff? Yet we don't have any local programming for the most part, other than Check Please and a few other ho hum kind of programs. Nothing worth revealing or talking about. And this, again, the most vile one. No newscast, a nightly newscast in which, God forbid, they centered on politics. What's taking place at City Hall? What's happening in Berkeley or Oakland or San Jose? Cover your community. You get millions and millions of dollars. Nobody accounts for them. They certainly don't. We've heard about, via myself, the fact that they pay their managers and there's some of their entities and partners millions of dollars. Yeah. Where is the programming? Where is the beef? Not a word. Not a word. And this goes on and on and on. Nobody says anything about it. Where is the Chronicle, Mercury News? I'm talking mostly here about the Chronicle because Chronicle is supposedly a San Francisco based centric news outlet. SF Gate. Nah, they don't want to cover that. That would be not sexy for SF Gate. SF Gate is more interested in burritos and tacos. And where do you get the best beef Wellington? Where do you fly a kite when you're on your lunch break at downtown San Francisco? That's SF Gate. sfchronicle.com and the printed SF Chronicle, not a word, nothing about KQED and the vast millions and millions and millions of dollars. And yet, and God knows where the money goes. You can make your own assumptions about where that money is. Talk about slush funds. Talk about the fact that all those beautiful pieces of furniture and managers taking clients out to dinner and lunch and expensive wine. Nobody talks about KQED. Not a word. And how about the millions of dollars alone they get on subscriptions, viewer subscriptions, which, by the way, fine and dandy. But where does the money go? What do you get when you become a member at KQED? A membership at KQED used to be lots of local programming. Used to be they did have a newscast years and years and decades ago. Nowadays, nothing other than these little mundane, stupid restaurant shows. News, basically nothing. newsroom. Remember that? Years and years ago with Mel Wax. And now we have a vast, huge question mark. Look, ultimately, it's all up to you guys. And I have brought this about a few months back. I talked about the fact that KQED gets away with this for whatever reason. I don't know the intricacies of companies that get money from the public. And this is a public company, and I'm sure they got money up the yin yang from grants and university affiliations and the government grants and programming and all that stuff. Yet there's nothing there. There's nothing there. So where is these millions of dollars? Does it just end up in some kind of a, I don't know, internal slush fund, which I'm sure they have at KQED, but again, nobody goes to call them and put them to accountability. I find that amazing. I find that utterly unbelievable, especially in a market this size, a top 10 market, yet KQED gets away with it. And God knows, again, where does that money go? And all these managers that get paid, some six figures, to do whatever they do. What do they do? Well, speaking of the devil, what do they do? I'll ask you this again. When's the last time you saw a local documentary that came out of KQED? And don't give me some, tic tac kind of a little stupid thing. I'm talking about a documentary that was locally produced, that had local tentacles. I'll say it again, no newscast, no nightly newscast that other PBS stations in LA, in Philadelphia, Chicago, New York, Boston, Houston, Miami, St. Louis, Austin, Dallas, Santa Barbara, just to name a few cities off the top of my head. They all have local shows. They all have local newscasts. KQED, nothing, nothing. And nobody says a word. Well, I have. I'm beating, I guess, a broken record, I guess. But it's old Rich wants to fuss about everything. Mr. Negativity, yeah. Isn't it the damnedest? And here I am. I'll be selfish for a minute now. Yeah, asking for $5 or $10 or, God forbid, anything over that amount so that I can continue to give you a little bit of local flavor, local reporting, local opinion on my own. Oh, he's begging for money. But I guess you'd rather give money to KQED so that you can watch shows that have nothing to do with KQED, only because KQED puts it out there from the national provider, PBS. And yet, I guess you're okay with it. I find that incredibly, incredibly sad. Just my opinion. But then again, it's just me. Thanks for watching anyway.